Not current, right? Okay, just making sure. Oh man. Good afternoon. Happy Boxing Day. Happy holidays in general for everyone that's celebrating. And if you celebrate Christmas, I hope you had a beautiful Christmas. If you celebrate Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa. All of that lovely salutations. Okay, now we can move on. So I've had a pretty quiet Christmas, which for me is perfectly fine because I totally believe in celebrating every day that we are alive. So I've had a lot of time to just think and be with myself and be with my thoughts, which is always super important. Also, one of my favorite places to be. And I have seen so many messages online about people being depressed over Christmas or not getting gifts, not being cared for, not feeling loved. And I wanted to take the opportunity out to come and gift you with a very important reminder. And that reminder is that you are enough. You were born as enough. You came into the world as enough. And that enough doesn't mean enough for other people. What it means is enough for yourself, enough to love yourself, enough to give yourself what you want and what you need. And more importantly, enough to go out into the world and make a difference. So I think what really inspired this message is my personal relationships with people around me. And as I watch more and more motivational, inspirational stuff for my own benefit so that I can deliver to you something clear and powerful and valuable, I continue to hear the repetition that you have to weed out the people that don't work. You have to weed out the negative energy. You have to weed out the naysayers, the people that doubt you, right? And what has been my biggest lesson is realizing that sometimes those people are the people that we consider closest to us, right? And that being family. I've realized that sometimes the people that support you most are the people that have seen you down, the people that have been with you along the journey. And a lot of the time, that's not your family, that's not your parents. It's not the people who you inherently think should love you and should take care of you and should support you. So in realizing that, I have learned and I have had to actually affirm myself double time. Now, I speak about affirmations all the time. I believe in affirmations. I believe in the power that is when you speak into yourself and you speak life into yourself. And I have really had to double down on that since being home in the Virgin Islands. Yes, I am always smiling and I always have positive energy. Someone used the word gladsome the other day to define me, and I loved it because that is genuinely who I am. However, it is extremely tough when you are in an environment where you feel like the people who you love most, I don't even know if love most is accurate, but the people who you love, the people that you've probably spent most of your life around, when they don't understand you, they don't care to understand you, they want you to be how they expect you to be, and do the things they expect you to do. And being in that type of environment is extremely challenging. Being in that type of environment is where you build thick skin. I must say that you build very thick skin. What also gets to happen in that environment, if you choose it, is your opportunity to affirm yourself and to remind yourself that you are enough, right? Because with or without these people, you still have to exist in the world. With or without these people, there's still a reason that you are here specifically. And sometimes we get so confused and we have these outside factors weighing on us and we feel like, you know what, I'm just going to go in the opposite direction of what feels good to me if it's going to make them shut up and it's going to make them happy. And the reality of the situation is someone that is unhappy within themselves cannot ever be happy with anything that you do. Now, when I think about the types of people that are in our lives, right? In some of the situations where we may be feeling inadequate or feeling like the outside pressure is coming down heavy are positions like a child-parent relationship. That's an experience that I'm always going through. A child-parent relationship, or maybe you're an employee and your employer seems to never be happy, or you're in an actual romantic relationship with someone, and no matter what you do, no matter how many surprises, no matter how many I love yous, no matter how many surprise dinners or gifts or acts of service, no matter what you do, no matter how much quality time you give them, they are still not fulfilled. And I want to take this moment to let you know that your job is not to fulfill them. Your job is not to make them happy. Your job is not to impress them in any way. And most importantly, your job is not to stretch outside of yourself and do things outside of yourself that take away from who you are as a human being to impress another person. That was a mouthful. That was a mouthful, and I think it needs to be said again. It is not your responsibility to do things to make other people happy, to say things to make other people happy, to give them your quality time to make other people happy. There's absolutely nothing that you can do, no matter how much you stretch yourself, there is nothing that you can do to make an unhappy person happy. Usually when we encounter people like that, and I won't say usually, all the time when we encounter someone that is unhappy, someone that can never seem to be fulfilled, at the core of that is them not believing that they are enough. Hence my reminder today. Reminder, you are enough. This is why I felt like this reminder was so important, because unless you feel like you are enough, there's nothing that can be done externally to make you happy. There's nothing that can be done externally to impress you. So if you yourself are the person that is never impressed, what is it about you that you seem to hate? What is it about you that you are not happy with? And when you look inside and see what that thing is, now you can actually be honest about it with yourself and do the work to overcome that thing. What we seem to sometimes forget is that everything that we think of and the feelings that we create have an impact. They have an impact on us and how we experience the world and how we treat other people and how we project onto other people. They have an impact in the circles that we hang around. They have an impact in the businesses that we are running or businesses that we are creating. They have an impact on our financial well-being. They have an impact on our physical well-being. Most importantly, that negative mindset of believing that you are not enough detrimentally impacts your own mindset. Because your thoughts turn to feelings and your feelings turn to things. So if you do not feel like you are good enough, then you will feel like you're not good enough, and then you will project onto others that they are not good enough, when in reality it's how you feel about yourself. And then eventually everyone that wants to be around you, be close to you, support you, they start to remove themselves. Or like me, I start to remove those people. See, we are very powerful beings. What we think about ourselves come to fruition. And since everyone's favorite topic is Donald Trump, that man believed he is good enough to become president. It doesn't matter how he did it, he did it. And that is all a physical representation of what he believed in himself, what he believed about himself. So my question to you today is, do you believe that you are enough? Do you trust that you were born perfect, whole, and complete, and you came into this world as being enough? And not enough for other people, but enough for yourself. See, the difference that makes is limitless. The difference that one belief makes is profound. I watched an interview today on Revolt TV with Master P and Lil Romeo, and they were talking about generational wealth. And that was the topic of the conversation. But what I truly pulled away from it, what I took away from that conversation is Master P's utmost belief in his skill set, his capabilities, and what he was put on this earth to do. The most famous part of his story, well, there's many famous parts, but the part that sticks out to me is when he talks about that first deal that he got for $1 million and the reason that he turned it down. And he says that he turned it down because if they saw that I was worth $1 million, then how much am I really worth? And the significance of that is, guess what? Because he saw that there was potentially more value for himself, because he knew the amount of work that he put into what he had produced. He knew that he came here fully capable of so much more, that $1 million was not enough. And this is a man who's worth hundreds of millions of dollars now. And when he did sign a deal, he got 85% of it, which is unheard of. None of that happened because someone else told him that he deserved more. Because in all reality, the people around him had no idea. He hadn't yet begun to be mentored by bigger people. So up until that point, that was his sole belief in himself, that he deserved more, because he was more, because he was enough, because he is enough. And I bring up that example because I want you to ask yourself, am I enough? Do I believe that I am enough? And in believing that I am enough, what can I create? What can I eliminate from my life? Because guess what? Those things don't deserve me. They are not good enough for me. A lot of people, we always talk about the social media world, and I talk about it too because this is the generation that I grew up in. But in reality, there's always been a version of measurement that we have tried to live up to. Whether it be People magazine back in the day, or the New York Times, or our parents' friends, or our friends and their families. There has always been something that exists for each and every one of us that we try to measure our success against. And I want to remind you again that you are enough, and there is no one that you can measure yourself against except yourself. You are the only one that knows how valuable you are. You are the only one that knows your true worth and your true capabilities. You are the only one that knows how much work you put into the things that you build and the things that you create. Most importantly, you're the only one that knows the struggles you go through, the pain you feel, the love you feel, the highs, the lows, the joy. You are the only person that feels it, that has those thoughts. So the only person that can determine your worth is you. The only person that can determine if you are good enough is you. You are your toughest critic. You are your toughest critic, and you are your number one supporter. You are your most reliable cheerleader. When the Dallas when the Dallas cheerleaders have an off day, trust and believe the players still show up, because they know that they are there to perform at their very best. And in all reality, the cheerleader is there to entertain the crowd. They are just another addition to the entertainment conglomerate that is the Dallas Cowboys. I want each and every one of us to realize that nobody can put a battery in our back like we can. We have the power to invite people into our lives that are optimistic, that will speak life into us, that will be raw and real in ways that support our growth, not tear us down. However, at the end of the day, when you are working on your 23rd hour, no sleep, grinding, and that person is asleep wherever they are, the only person that can push you through is you. This morning when that workout was kicking my ass, the only person that was pushing me through was me. When the sweat is dripping from your brow in the most toughest circumstances, you're not going to call your mom to come wipe it off. You're going to wipe it off and tell yourself you got this. And you're going to keep going. Because at the end of the day, the results you create is for you and your success and your legacy. The result that you create creates opportunities for others. And if you allow someone who does not believe that they are enough to project onto you that you are not enough, then what happens to all of that? What happens to your goals and dreams? Yes, it's challenging as fuck. I cried on Christmas morning. And I tried to give it all this significance, like, oh my God, it's Christmas morning, and I'm here in the house with my mom, and she hasn't wished me Merry Christmas, she hasn't bought me a gift. And then I was like, snap the fuck out of that. Because this has no significance. December 25th is just like December 24th, which is just like December 1st. It is another day that I am here to live. I am here to create. I am here to believe that I am enough. And away goes the tears. Bye, tears. See you later, tears. And what comes into play, what I spent the rest of my day doing, was improving my YouTube channel, encouraging people to watch and be inspired. Because the same person that can give all of that neglect and lack of attention significance, I didn't choose that. I chose that I am enough. And the reason that I am here is more than enough. It's bigger than anything that could ever come in my way. It is bigger than negative thoughts. It is bigger than self-defeating thoughts. It is bigger than not having the money to do something. It is bigger than feeling like I don't have the education. Because I was born perfect, whole, and complete, because I am enough, I got back to what my purpose is. And you know what? I felt extremely fulfilled at the end of the day. It's hard. It is challenging, is actually what I would like to say. It is extremely challenging to, one, deal with the negative thoughts that we constantly have about ourselves, but to then be out in the world and hear those opinions from others. And the truth of the matter is, their opinions don't matter. However, how you carry yourself and project yourself in the world allows people to create a perspective of you. And it is our responsibility to ensure that the perspective that people have of me is in alignment with who I am to this world. What do I mean by that? Every time I come on these videos and I come on live, or I record a video or record a YouTube video, or I send somebody a voice note, something positive, who I am being in the world is someone that is powerful, someone that is optimistic, someone that truly believes that we are all good enough. We all have a story that needs to be heard. We all have the capability of being the biggest, baddest versions of ourselves that we see ourselves to be. And if that is who I aim to show up in the world as, it is my duty and my responsibility to check in and see if that is how I am being perceived. While their opinions and perspectives may not be absolute fact, they are feedback, positive or negative feedback. It is information, it is data. And you know what you can do with data? You can re-strategize, you can reassess, you can try something new. And then you can check in again. Because at the end of the day, that feedback is only for your growth. It is not for you to believe that what they say is true. It is not for you to cut yourself down. Shit, it's not even for you to build yourself up, because guess what? You are enough. It is information for you to take account. When I did Landmark last year, we had this really amazing exercise where we used this list of questions to ask people and gauge for ourselves how we were showing up in the world. Excuse me. And I came up with a checklist that gives you those same questions, well, a version of them, for you to make an assessment in your life. And it's on designmyvibe.com. I'm actually going to read it out to you, and it's called an interview. So what I did was create this list of questions that allowed you to ask the people whose opinions matter, or maybe sometimes their opinions don't matter. However, you're going out there and asking people, am I who I say I am? Right? So for me, I just said that I am powerful, I'm optimistic, I'm supportive, I'm loving. And if I am not being those things, then I have to check in with myself. What's going on? Am I projecting right now? Am I not feeling like my very best self to make me talk to someone in a way that they feel less than? Because when we do those things, it's not about the person, it's about us. So your question, am I who I say I am, is an opportunity for you to conduct an interview, asking external forces, so that you can see if who you are showing up in the world to be is in alignment with who you say yourself to be. So just a quick run through of how this works. Basically, you submit a formal request. So let's say I'm asking my boyfriend, I would love to conduct an interview, and I would like to gather honest feedback about who I am being. Do you have 15 minutes to answer 8 short questions? And then you let them know that this is for your personal development. And everything that they say will be regarded as feedback and opinion. There is no right or wrong answers. I'm not going to hate you if you say something that's not nice. What is even not nice, right? Because it's feedback. If you say something that doesn't sit well with me, I'm not going to chew your head off. Because the sole purpose of this interview is to check in, to make sure that I am being who I say I am. So once we get their permission and we set the space so they know that they're safe, because people need to know that they're safe, okay? Because some things may come out that you necessarily don't feel is accurate, right? And that is okay. That is that person's experience of you. And it's usually tied to a specific event. It may not be how they think about you all the time, but that one time stood out, right? And it does not, the purpose of this is not for you to look down on yourself. This is not for you to get mad at yourself or get mad at the other person. So the questions are, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What do people know about me? What do people assume about me? What can people count on me for? What can't people count on me for? Is there anything in the past that I need to apologize for in our relationship? And lastly, is there anything else you want to add before we end the interview? Now, these questions are, if we read them and we really spend time with them, we're able to see that the answers provided will empower us to get clear on who we're being, and more importantly, go out there and do the research and figure out how can I input what is missing, right? Because if I want to be Z, but you're experiencing me as A, then something's missing, right? All the other letters of the alphabet are missing, right? If I want to be the most eloquent speaker, but then when I speak, my words be chopped up and I'm chopping out fast and you can't really understand me, then I need to put in what's missing, which is some training. Maybe I need to go to Toastmasters. So at the end of the day, this interview is for your self-development, for your betterment, for you to be the best version of yourself in the world. And I think it's one of the most powerful things that we can do is do self-assessment based on the people who spend time with us, based on the people who care about us, based on the people, maybe it's someone who doesn't know you at all, maybe they've experienced you once. Those are the types of people that you're going to have to sell to if you have a business, right? If you are going to fulfill on your purpose in life, you're going to have to encounter people that have never encountered you before, and you're going to have to allow them in, let them see who you are for the world. And when you're in those experiences, when you're in those opportunities, you want to make sure that you're giving forth your best foot. So I have tagged the location of this questionnaire on, what is this called? On Facebook, it's in the description of the live video. So I have it, there's access to checklist, right? So you can go there, you can take a screenshot. I think you can download it as well. And follow the directions. So you make sure that the person feels safe talking to you honestly. And it also gets you to like ground yourself and remember the bigger purpose for this questioning. Okay, and I really just wanted this to be, I guess just me sharing what it means to be enough, reminding you that you are enough. I think we don't get that reminder often enough, right? And especially if you're looking for that reminder from the outside of yourself, you're never going to get it enough. So another thing that I would love to encourage you to do besides the checklist is to really take the time to write some affirmations, right? And affirm yourself every day in the mirror, when you meditate, maybe you're on your way to work. Just affirm yourself and remind yourself that you are enough. Remind yourself that you're capable, that you are loved, that you are powerful, what else can we say? That you're beautiful, that you're strong. There's so many adjectives that we can find to describe ourselves, and you have the power to do so. You have the power to choose the ones that are most supportive to who you're being in the world. And if you've never done an affirmation before, I will tell you now what an affirmation is. An affirmation is a positive statement about yourself. One that I always tell myself, I am a powerful, connected, and vulnerable leader. And that's actually my contract for momentum. And it's interesting for me to use the word powerful because I've always been this like leader, bossy type of girl. However, I got a whole new understanding of what powerful means when I did that work. I understood that powerful exists both when things are going well and when you're feeling weak. And that was tremendous for me because I was always the strong friend. Everything's cool over here. And the minute that I understood that powerful had different, that powerful applied to different contexts. It wasn't just one situation. It really transformed my life. So really speaking affirmatively to yourselves, and usually the best way to do so is to say, I am XYZ. Instead of saying I want to be, or I'm trying to be, or, I will be, just affirm yourself. I am a millionaire. I don't have $1 million right now in this moment, but the more that I affirm myself, I begin to do the things that a millionaire would do, and then I will get to the million. So I am XYZ. And if you want I can probably share a version of affirmations off of YouTube in the comments section, or I'll update on Facebook. I'll update the description to share my favorite affirmations. I listen to one every morning. It's about 22 minutes long, and all it does is just it just reminds me that there's a reason that I'm here. There's a purpose that I'm here to fulfill. There are people that can't live without me. There are people that are waiting for me. And more importantly, I am the most important person in my life. I am the most important cheerleader in my life. And when I wake up with that on my mind, yes, there may be points in my day where I'm down, or I'm having some self-doubt, or I'm not that inspired, but I started my day letting myself know how powerful I am. And anytime I have a little moment like that, I check back in. And that is the powerful thing, the powerful gift that I would love to give to you guys, to reminder that you are enough, but more importantly, you have the power to reaffirm yourself at any point in time, no matter what is going on. So I think that's all I got for you guys today. Most importantly, I have reopened my calendar, so I am taking as many as possible, right? If you have the time and you're interested and you just want to have a one-on-one with me to boost your confidence and to really understand your true value in the world, my calendar is open with free 15-minute clarity calls from now until eternity, until I get a team and then someone else is like screening them. Hey, let's speak it into existence. For now, my calendar is open, so please take advantage of it. The calls happen on freeconferencecall.com. If you would like a video call with me, I'm open to it. I love meeting new people, and I really feel like eye contact and really being able to share how you're feeling, what you're thinking, and really measure that with the body language as well as important. So if you are open to a Zoom video call, I have that option as well. But I just want to make sure that people know that that service is available. It is 100% free. If you are interested in signing up for an additional session or actually signing up for one of my programs, we can talk about that at a later point. But right now, I really want to emphasize that my calendar is open for free 15-minute clarity calls, discovery calls. The purpose of the call is for you to gain a new perspective and to really understand that you are capable, you are valued, and most importantly, you are enough, okay? Happy Boxing Day, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your holidays. My aim is to do lives every day. I haven't been going live on this page specifically, and this is on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, I'm also recording for my IGTV. This is my confidence and relationship coach page. The handle is A Life Designed by Sarah, just like on Instagram. So if you haven't, please go and like the page. This is where I'll be going live because this is what I want to grow. Sarah's dope as hell. She'll always be dope as hell. However, my vehicle to what I'm going to create in the world is coaching, is going live, is spreading this positive message. And it is reminding people that you are good enough. And the minute that you believe that you are good enough, then you begin to create other results. And that's all I can ask of you. To love yourself, believe in yourself, and do for others. So, happy Thursday. I hope you enjoyed this session. Please leave a comment if it made a difference for you. Most importantly, share. I always say this on YouTube. I love your subscriptions. That's amazing. It makes a difference. But the most important thing is the number of people that get to hear this message and transform their lives, because that's the difference in the world. Empowered people empower people. Iron sharpens iron. And if you believe that you are enough, you will let other people know that they are enough, and they will start to believe it and look internally and tell somebody else. And that is how we have an impact that changes the world. Okay, I'm going to go now because I realize that I'm not going to stop talking. Peace, y'all.